Okay, so unknown opponent, opponent's revealing Jegantha, and this hand has two of the four horsemen, so I go for it. Go ahead and play the lantern first, and I figured that if there were, I didn't think they had discard, but if they did, they can grab the shredder, and I'm more likely to draw a shredder, and I'll just be okay. However, it turns out my opponent is on Storm. So the reason why I don't play the Saga yet is I want to trophy in response if I need to. So they're not going off yet. So now I want to use this Thoughtseize. And I do that before I play a land, so I know if I need to use Saga. I'll play Saga first. So Thoughtseize, I see they now have a dead hand. They can put the Giganta to their hand, but I took their Manamorphose. So, yeah, that's going to be game. I play the Burning Dragons here because I want to shuffle away the needle. But MTGO doesn't care and puts the needle back on top anyways. So playing the Shredder to achieve the lock. And if my opponent gets Giganta, it's okay. I'll just trophy it. There's the Hills Medallion. I forget what the last card is. It doesn't matter. I'm going to mill this Glimpse. They have a Ral on top, so I guess I will draw the needle. And I'll just name Ral with it. Uh-oh. MTGO is angry. Okay, so now I'm going to play the Saga so I can start. No, there's a couple of ways I can go here. I can go on the beatdown plan. Um, and, yeah. Needle on Ral. Still saving the trophy. So Gardens, so I can copy the Shredder. Stronger Lock. Opponent hasn't quit yet, so that tells me that they probably have. Storm usually has a way to draw or to play cards out of the graveyard, so I'm more than likely going to either get a Pixis or a Grafdigger's Cage off of this Saga. So make a dude, copy the Shredder. Gotta make another dude. Yeah. I think I got the Pixis here? I don't remember. No, I got the Cage. Which, so between the two, the reason why Cage might be better than Pixis here is because if my opponent has a fetch land, they can, if I try to mill them, they can fetch in response and hope that I hit like a, what was that? The Flames, the card that lets them play cards from their graveyard with flashback. So they could hit that and then go off from their graveyard. Whereas if I get a Grafdigger's Cage, it doesn't matter. So I'm gonna attack. Yeah, I'll just mill that. But they fetch. I don't know why. Whatever. But yeah, so they concede. Going to game 2. Whenever it loads up. I feel like we have a pretty good Storm matchup, which is kind of interesting. Traditionally, like Storm matchup before, the Blue-Red Storm, Gift Storm, was a little bit harder, I think. But this one is way more like hyperlinear, so a lot easier to fight against. So yeah, Grafdigger's Cage in the opener, and a Gardens to copy it if they try to remove it. Seems pretty good. So they Scalding Tarn for land, and then they Surveil to the top. So I have a few choices here, so what I decided to do is play the Shredder first. And I do think that maybe they have a Blood Moon, so I'm going to go ahead and fetch out my basic now. And I'll mill their top card. And it's a land. Opponent draws for their turn, and I think they just concede here. Yeah, and they just concede. So, I mean, seems pretty good here. From here, I can Marsh, Thoughtseize, pick apart their hand, and then either Stirrings or Cage, depending on what I see in their hand. But I'm pretty confident the game is won. If I Stirrings into a Soulless Jailer, that's pretty backbreaking against them. Especially if I end up with Gardens open to copy it in response to removal. So yeah, opponent concedes.